Welcome, my dear students. This is your teacher, Dr. Usama Kashwa, and this is the third lecture, a new lecture in project management, and we are handling the project management from many aspects. And we are moving now forwards for new aspects of the project management. Let's start our lecture now and say that the software of project management is difficult than other engineering project management because the product is intangible. Here, that's the software, you cannot touch it. The software development process is not standardized. There is no like patterns for the software. Many software projects are one-off projects. Okay. Project management activities. What are the project management activities? What are those project management activities? They are the proposal writing or report writing and presentation, writing and communication skills. They are team formation. The project management, those are the activities of the project management. Team formation. What do we mean by team formation? Personal selection and the evaluation, and we will have a part about the selection and the evaluation of humans for project management. Project cost estimation. Also, the project active management activities include the costs of the project, how much it will be. They have to estimate it because it's a future work. For that reason, they have to estimate it. Project monitoring and services and reviews. So also monitoring, like controlling the project. And that's what we talked before. And we said the project management is actually concerned about putting the standards, measuring the actual performance, then comparing the performance or the actual performance with the standards to check out if there are gaps or no, to correct the gaps in case there are gaps. And also report writing and representation or presentation. Those are one of the project management activities. Actually, we had this question before, but why not? We can stop here now for the moment and go to a slide and say, what are the project management activities? What are, just to remind us with this question, what are the main MAIN project, PROJECT project management activities? What are the main project management activities? And to answer this question, actually, you will have here about 5 minutes. We'll stop here around 5 minutes for getting the answer from you guys. You can send me the answers on Google Chats. Where is the chat box here? Like this one, you can send it in this Google or the chat box. You can send it on the chat box. So, okay. So what are the main project management activities? What are the activities of the project management? So this is your question, and we'll leave here like around 5 minutes in this area. complete our work on this file. And here we go. Okay. Now the team formation. Team formation is a point very important because working in project management is always in teams. So a project manager success starts with creating the best team possible and having the right people and the right role. May not be possible to appoint the ideal people to work on a project. Yes, project budgets may not allow for the use of highly paid staff. So sometimes because of the money or the cost constraints, we talk about the triangle, including the cost constraints, you might don't grab or recruit to your own project team the best qualified people because of they are highly paid. So you try to avoid this point. Staff with the appropriate experiences may not be available also. They might immigrate somewhere else or whatever. Any organization may wish to develop employee skills on a software project. Anyhow, managers have to work within the constraints, especially when they are shortage of trained staff. So I will work at the way it is here in front of me, because that's what I have. So that's what I have because of the limits of the cost constraints will let me not bring or not grab to the project all the best or all my dreams. No, I will act according to what's available for me right now, the resources available for me. More people manages in, okay. So project planning, like we talked before and we said about the project planning, probably the most time consuming project management activity, continuous activity from initial concept through to system delivery. Plan must be regularly revised. This is very important sentence. We must always revise the plans as new information become available. Various different types of plan may be developed to support the main software project plan that is concerned with schedule and budget, because the main work of the software's project plan is the schedule and the budgeting. Those are the one which is done as a software. Okay, types of project plan. We have a quality plan that will stress on the quality. The quality is a continuous process from the start of the project till the end. So quality plan describe the quality procedures and the standards that will be used in the project. Okay, so this is the quality plan. Quality is a philosophy. Start before the start of the production and ended after the sales services. Within the phase of even it's ended after the sale is done or after the project is closed. Satisfying the people needs is very important with a high quality performance in everything and based on the quality standards as well. Validation plan describe the approach, resources and schedule used for system validation. This is the second type of project plan, validation plan. The third type is configuration management plan. Describe the configuration management procedures and the structure of the used that must be used. What kind of structure I will use for achieving my project management or project plan? What is the procedures which will use, the structure? How the organization structure there? Is it like a tall structure or a flat structure? Okay. Maintenance plan, also this is another kind of plan, predicts the maintenance requirements of the system, maintenance cost, and so the plan, it needs costs. The costs, some of it is due to the maintenance, a maintenance cost. So I will put a maintenance plan. Also, I'm using tools, I'm using machines, all this, and I need spare parts, and I need service for the equipments and the machinery so that the depreciation will be lower. It won't be with a high depreciation, or it might stop if I didn't make a maintenance plan. Those machineries might stop and not work or break. So this will cause me troubles. So in that case, I have to put a maintenance plan. Staff plan, the staff or the human resource. Staff in any company is the human resource of this company. Staff plan development describe how will skills and the experience of the project team member will be developed. So it's including recruiting, human resource, recruiting the skillful people, hire them, train them, promote them, put them for pay, and put them for the pension plan and the leave plan, and including all the works, putting for them the job analysis and put for them their job description. And all these are included into the rates, the income, the pay. All this is regarding the staff plan. The needs, my needs from the skillful staff with quantity and the quality. As example, I need 3 engineers with the high qualifier with master degree in software and with experience of 10 years at least. So this is quality and quantity. Quantity, 3 engineers. And the quality is that they are highly trained with great experience of more than 10 years experience. They have more than bachelor in, as example, they have master or PhD in softwares. So those are the types of project plan. And I will stop here to have another question now and say, what are the types of project plan? What are the types of project plan? What are the types of project plan? We might stay here for around 5 minutes. And the answer on the previous page on the slides or PowerPoints, you will find the answer there. Also, let me tell you that you can send your answers on chat box. Here in the chat box, you can answer it, send your answers here. What are the types of project plan? Remember, it is on the page, the precede page. Those are the types of project plan. You can also Google search. We'll wait here for around 5 minutes to get your answers, my dears. Then we'll move forward. Thank you. So we are back now to the next. We have the types of project plan, and we are done for this. So we'll go now to objective of project plan. What is the objective of the project plan? The project plan is set out the resource available to the project. We need to know the available resources to the project, the work breakdown. So those are the things which we'll talk about in the project plan. The resource available, the work breakdown, a schedule for the work. So when we talk about the project plan, we talk about these three topics. Again, I would say the resources available, the resources mean the raw materials, the money, the capital, how far I have, how much I have for the project, the work breakdown, parts of the work and the consequence of the work, the serial, dividing the work into stops and stations and phases, a schedule for the work, and this also related to. It's all about estimation. So it's how much the resource available, the work breakdown, and the time. So it's all about how much. Structure of the project plan. What we will do in the project plan, how we will build it. There is introduction. The introduction is the objective and the constraints. Objective, what we want to do, building as example. The constraints, we have $100 or $1 million. Only we have constraints of time, we have constraints of costs, and we have constraints of scope. Project organization, team, the team who I have, the team who will work with me. We have risk analysis, and we will cover the risk analysis in the mathematical part of these lectures. Hardware and software resources requirements. Of course, any kind of project must have the hardware and software resources. Software are the programs and computers and the people who will work on the softwares. Hardware and the other things which is tangible and you can touch it with your hand. Software is intangible, you cannot touch it, but hardware are the thing, the stuff, the solid stuff that will help for creating this project plan. Work breakdown. What do you mean by the work breakdown? Project activities, milestones, and deliverable of each activity. So the work breakdown includes the project activities, the milestones, and deliverable of each activity. And we'll have now a video about what is the meaning of the work breakdown. Project schedule, dependencies between activities. So like as example, I can start building the second floor in a building without building first the ground floor. So this is dependency. The second floor depends on the ground floor. Activities, time needed to reach each milestone and the allocation, the time for each. As example, the ground floor will need 15 days. Starting from the 16 days, I can start building the second floor and so on. Milestones and the allocation of people or activities as well. Monitoring and reporting mechanisms. What are the figures of the reports, how they looks like? Define the reports that should be produced, because each stage of the project, each stage of the project need different kinds of reports and different kind of the documentations and documentary process when they should be produced and the project mechanism used in it. We'll come to a very important part, which is the risk management. What do you mean by the risk management? Before we go to the risk management, we need only to know work breakdown, project work breakdown. We'll see a small video about the project work work breakdown in a project. or project work breakdown. Let's take, okay, let's take it as it is, like this way, and we'll see videos about it. Let us see this video about the work breakdown structure. We will see actually many videos about the work breakdown.
Once the problem has been accurately defined and possible solutions have been discussed and then decided upon, and a project risk plan has been developed, an accurate estimate of the required resources and cost to complete the project is the next step. The leading cause of project failure is inaccurately estimating the time requirement and the cost involved with completing the project. A wonderful tool you can use to help with estimating is called the work breakdown structure. The concept behind the work breakdown structure is very simple. It
requires you to break down complex tasks into smaller, like I'm telling you as example, if you are going to build a house, that means that you will do a stages, like a hierarchy of stages, and each stage is having phases, like each phase, what you will do then, until you reach a point where you can no longer subdivide the task. So in this point, this is the end. You cannot subdivide it more than this. This is very proper for a person or for a department to do this part of the main project on behalf of them. Okay.
Requires you to break down complex tasks into smaller tasks until you reach a point where you can no longer subdivide these tasks. At this point, you'll have several smaller tasks that'll be easier to estimate the time requirement and the cost involved. The work breakdown structure helps you to see visually all of the components that make up the tasks that ultimately make up the entire project. Well, let's take a look at a simple example of how this might work. I want to use a simple example just to illustrate how the work breakdown structure works. So I'm going to use the project of cleaning my room. To clean my room, I might begin by picking up the clothes off the floor, and then I might vacuum the floor. And once I've vacuumed, I may decide to dust the furniture, and then I may decide to wash the windows and then wash the walls. These are all subtasks of cleaning my room. There are also smaller tasks that make up the subtasks. For example, to complete the subtask of vacuuming, I would need to get the vacuum out of the closet. I'd need to plug it in, turn it on, and then push it around the room. And then when I'm finished, I'd need to put it away. Now notice that it really doesn't matter at this point what order I put the tasks in. That's not the point of the work breakdown structure. A work breakdown structure doesn't show the sequence in which the work is performed. The sequencing is determined when a schedule is developed, and we'll cover scheduling next. The main idea.
Hello, my dears. So here in this stage, the breakdown, it doesn't care about which stage or which phase will come first, or which one will be the order of each stage. It doesn't care about this, but it cares actually about what are the works related to this phase. Like I said, example now, as example, to get the vacuum, he must take it out of the closet, plug it to the wall, but those tasks together in this phase, the work breakdown, we don't care too much about which is first, which come first from these activities and what comes second. But actually, this is the concern of the schedule, which comes next to the putting the task or breakdown the work. So first the breakdown, then after that the scheduling, and this is, so we do the breakdown first, then we go for the scheduling of the activities after this.
I want to get a
I recommend this video for you, my dear students, because it's very simplifying, and it's working. You can go to it and watch it once or twice again, whenever you can. So that will help you so much to get, because it's very simple in talking simple and giving very nice examples, so that it can be useful for you, also for you to remind it and retrieve it and memorize it. Okay.
Across here is that the work breakdown structure is designed to capture all of the tasks involved with the project. Don't get bogged down by thinking sequentially at this point. Just identify the major tasks involved with the project and then break those down. The typical work breakdown structure will have 3 to 6 levels, and it might look something like this. On the chart here, you see that at the top we have what is called a program. The program is one level above a project. A program, for example, would be the building of a water treatment plant. And that program would be made up of many different projects that have to be completed to complete the program.
So as you see, one program is divided into many projects, and each project will be divided into tasks, and each task will be divided into subtasks, and each subtask will be divided into work packages. And the work package also will be subdivided into level of efforts. And this is the work breakdown structure. Okay, let's see.
So the second level of our diagram would be the project, and then the project is made up of tasks, which would be the third level. And under tasks, we have subtasks, and then below that we have the work package, and below the work package we would have the level of effort required to complete those work packages, and so on. So you can see that we're just breaking it down, and further breaking it down until we get to a point to where it can't be subdivided anymore. And you can break the project task down as far as you need to in order for you to be able to properly manage the task, to properly estimate the time required to complete the task, and to properly estimate the cost involved with completing the task. And again, some tasks will have multiple levels, while others will only have a single level. It just depends on what the task involves. There are some basic guidelines you should follow when developing your work breakdown structure. And these include, you stop breaking down work when you reach a low enough level to do an estimate of the desired accuracy.
Work breakdown structure, there are guidelines. He's talking about the guidelines. Stop breaking down work when you reach a low enough level to do an estimate of the desired accuracy. So like we said, we reach to a point where it is not, you cannot subdivide the work more than this. In this point, you are okay, that's fine. Till this moment, we can subdivide it, but now we cannot subdivide the task into subdivisions of task more than the way we reach now. Okay.
So if your schedule is broken up into days of work, then you should break down your tasks to a level that involves 1 day of work. If you're scheduling by the hour, then stop your breakdown when the tasks are in an hourly range. Secondly, involve those people who must do the work in the planning process. This should go without saying, but those involved with doing the work will have the best idea of what it will take to complete the task. So be sure to get their input.
The reason, because they are the one who was planned, who was working, involved in doing the task, in determining the task. So they will be they will be the one who will do the work effectively, because they shared in it, they participate in this work. Yeah.
Work breakdown structure should be completed before the schedule. The work breakdown structure should always be developed.
Yes, because we said work breakdown structures come first, then schedule comes after the work breakdown structure. So if you can say in sequences in time or chronologically, then the work breakdown structure comes first. Then after this, schedule will come the schedule phase.
Before the schedule is worked out without trying to identify the sequence of activities. And then fourth, the work breakdown structure doesn't have to be symmetrical. Just because one task is broken down to level 6 doesn't mean that all tasks in the project have to go down to that level of detail.
It depends, of course, on the task itself, the nature of the task itself. It doesn't, he won't say it shouldn't be asymmetric, like this task has been divided into 6 levels, that you will also, other tasks, you have to divide it in 6 levels. No, it's left based on the type of the task itself. Type of the task itself will determine to which level you will stop. Yeah. As example, when the example of the cleaning and dusting, so when it go down to the final subdivision of the task, doesn't mean that all the stages must be the same. Vacuuming is different than cleaning the curtains, is cleaning different than cleaning the carpets. Each task can be divided into subtasks, which may be, as example, cleaning the carpets. How many levels or subdivisions of cleaning the carpet should take? Only one level, that cleaning with vacuuming, that's it. But vacuuming, to find the vacuum, you have to plug it, you have to take it to put its components, and then after that start vacuuming. Those are 3 steps. Cleaning the windows or washing the windows, the levels, the subdivision levels, like as example, bringing the water, putting the detergent in the water for cleaning substances, then mix them together with the water, then start to mop the glass. First clean the glass from the dust or whatever with any materials or stuff. Then after that, start to wash the glass. Then after you wash the glass, you have to dry it. These are 7 subdivisions, but cleaning the curtain or cleaning or vacuuming the rugs is only 1 or 2 levels. So it doesn't mean that all the levels must be the same. No.
Possible that some tasks will require very little breakdown, while others will require much more detail. So work closely with those individuals on your team that tend to think symmetrically and help them to see that asymmetry has a place at the table too. In addition to helping with the estimating process, there are a couple of other good uses for the work breakdown structure. The work breakdown structure is a good way to visually show the scope of the project. Since it lays out all the tasks involved with the project, it's easy to see all that's involved with completing the project. Another good use is for assigning responsibility for tasks involved with the project. Each task to be performed should be assigned to a particular person who is then responsible for its completion.
So when you divide the tasks, you will allocate or assign each subdivision of the total task into a specified person based on his specialization and his experience and his willing and his ability to do the task. Okay.
Estimating is not an exact science. All projects have a series of variables that make it impossible to give what some people call an exact estimate.
So that was about the main task. Regarding the what we talk about, this is enough in this video. Thank you so much. We'll go back to another video also regarding the scheduling and regarding the breakdown, work breakdown, to watch another video about the work breakdown. I prefer to take this video because it's short and at the same time it's very nice because she's talking in very brief. I recommend also this video for you guys. Because it is very nice and it's very short.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Witt, Director of ProjectManager.com. Well, welcome to our whiteboard session today on what is a work breakdown structure. So a lot of times we get questions from the forum and other sources of people calling in, really trying to understand what the work breakdown structure is. And there's so much confusion out there because it gets tied into maybe a software tool or other aspects, and people can't determine what's the difference between that and a schedule and other parts of the project. So I want to take the time out on this whiteboard session just to clarify what the work breakdown structure is. Well, you know me, I'm big on terms, and I like to be clear and go forward on a real definition of terms. So a lot of times you'll see me on the whiteboard sessions reference my good friend Google. Well, in this case, I'm referencing a guide to the project management body of knowledge by PMI, and this specifically is the 4th edition. You can reference other project management sources of your own that you may use and prefer instead, but this is mine. So what PMI and the Guide to the Project Management Body of Knowledge, the PMBOK guide, says a work breakdown structure is a deliverable-oriented hierarchical decomposition, so we're breaking something apart, of the work to be executed by the team.
So the breakdown is breaking the work, the total work, into parts. Like we said, if we will build this building of 5 stories, then we have to do the ground floor, then the first floor, then the second, then the third, then the fourth, then the fifth. And each one of them is including activities, sub-activities or subtasks, which we will divide to subdivisions, subtasks, till we reach to the limit that it cannot be divided anymore. And we will then allocate or assign these works on a specific person, in each person in the organization. After we determine those tasks or those subtasks, we divide them. Again, I'm saying in the work breakdown stage or structure, is not very important the chronological order to be practiced or processed. We don't care so much. We care about this in the scheduling, which phase will start and which phase will come next, that we care about in the scheduling phase. Okay.
To accomplish the project objectives and create the required deliverables. Many times I see the teams get confused because they lose track of, they lose essence of, why are we doing this project? And specifically, the reason we're doing a project is to produce the deliverables. So this is a very important.
So the deliverables for me, this video is very nice, and the way she's very organized and very nice in her presentation. Actually, I recommend this video for you guys. This to watch it frequently, so because it's including most of the facts about the work breakdown structure in few minutes. So what she's saying, deliverable means for the end user to finish the thing which you're doing, the project, and deliver it to your final end user or consumer. Whatever was the project type, but to finish it and deliver it and reach to the close phase or the closing phase of the project. Okay.
And if you can create a work breakdown structure from the beginning and identify the deliverables being produced when, then a picture truly is worth 1,000 words for not only you, the project manager, but your team. It sets the vision again for the project objectives. So let's take a look at the purpose. The purpose again is to organize and define the total scope. So the scope is comprised of the deliverables. So this hierarchical decomposition of the work, it looks like this. Here's a graphical picture. So here's just generically, you can take this generic hierarchical structure and begin breaking it down for your own. So here's a project, and in this specific one, you may work on projects that include phases. So there may be a phase 1, phase 2, or other multiple phases. This one has 2 phases and a deliverable, a main high-level deliverable produced. And this also has sub-projects. So this also can include sub-projects that are broken down as well. But if you look at phase 1 and break down this has 2 deliverables beneath the phase. So it's producing 2 main deliverables. And so we look at what's the work required to produce these deliverables. So we keep breaking it down. We break it down to the work to be executed. So work is executed by work packages. So this deliverable 1 is broken down to other sub-deliverables, and which are broken down eventually to work packages. And remember, your team members are completing work packages that produce these deliverables. And
so the team members, when you reach to this stage, each subdivision of the whole project, which like here as example, one of the subtasks or the subtasks should be delivered into the your teamwork based on specialization to do those subtasks. And this is what she is saying in this point.
Again, this can continue to be broken down.
And like you see here, it doesn't mean that all levels have to be symmetric when it's going to be the task down. No, it depends on the type of the activity or the division which you or the object which you are going to divide into sub tasks or sub objects. So it depends on the type of task itself, can be more subdivided or no. So it doesn't mean that 3 stages, like we said example in the example before, about cleaning, about the dusting, about cleaning the windows, about cleaning the vacuuming the floor. All those tasks are not having subtasks same, like in here five subtasks. So that means that here will be 5 subtasks. No, it differs from a product or a project to another project. Okay, that was about dividing the subtasks, and this is what we know now about the breakdown of the subtasks, and that's very well. So you are very well now in this point. Then we will go back to our slides and complete the project schedule. We said first we do the work breakdown, then we go to the project schedule. Monitoring and reporting mechanism, this also we had it. Then we will move into now the risk management and know what do we mean by the word risk. So risk identification, risk means the gap between the actual results and the planned. The gap between them is risk. You planned to produce 10 cell phones. You produced only 7. Then the risk is 3. The planned minus the actual performance, 10 minus 7 will give you 3. Risk is a kind of unexpected events happen in the environment of your decision area or environment, some unexpected things which you do not expect start with natural disasters and technical errors and human errors. All those are kind of risk. Okay, what went wrong? Analyze the risk, determine the likelihood that it will occur. And this is what we will study. We will put something is called states of nature, and we will put a probability distribution for each stage. The damage it will do if it does occur. We will use also to do something we call it what if analysis. Then we will see the criteria in which we would, what kind of criteria we will use in making decision. Prioritize risk by probability and impact. Like as example, I will say, in case of it is inflation in the economy, I will have revenues of $100,000 with a probability of 30%. In case, like that way, in case of there is a depression or recession or deflation in the economy, I will have profits of $10,000 with a probability of 50%, and so on. We will study this in the math part, in the models, including the decision tree and including the expected value. We will study all of them regarding managing the risk in a project. So just I'm giving an idea now about it, then we will go back to it in the decision tree. Develop, plan, and monitor. So we will arrange and check based on this. We will put more than one scenario. So we won't use only one scenario. We will use more than one scenario. We will call it what if analysis. In the case of this situation happen, I will do like this. In the case the situation happen, I will do like this, and so on. Okay, this was the risk. And I will stop here actually for around and say only because we cannot exceed this without knowing what do we mean by the word risk. Define risk and its types. So you also tell me what are the types of risk. We have nature risks. We have human error risks or technical risks. All those are. Then we will see how we will deal with the risk, how we will deal with the types of risk which we have. Okay, time for this question is around 5 minutes. Well, you can also answer like I told you before, please, and you can send me the answer here on Google, on the chat box. You can send your answers to the chat box. Okay, okay, that's very fine. So this was about the risk. Now, when we go to the next slide, the risks identification, where the possible risks of the technology, what will happen, like those are the types of risk and what this risk will lead to. Those are the types and this is it leads to. Technology, the database used possible risks in the system cannot process as many transactions per second as expected. So some of your transactions will not be done based on, or something happened to your laptop, or something happened to your programming system, or you had hackers, or spam, or whatever, or viruses. So those are all possible risks. A software components that should be reused contain defects that limit their functionality. So those are will affect your software system. This is the technology. Risk comes from the technology side or aspect. People. It is impossible to recruit staff with the skills required. Always, because like we said before, you have a cost constraints. So you won't be able to bring exactly the people whom you need to work with you because of lack of resources, lack or shortage of money. Usually the very high skillful people, they take a very high pay. If you are not able to afford this high pay, then you will be satisfied with the poor level of performance or non-skilled people or limited skilled people to achieve your tasks. Okay. Require training. So because the people, okay, how I will deal with the risk of the people? I will deal with that kind of risk with training the people very well. If I train them very well, that will be fine. So we have also organizational risk, which means the organization is restructured. So the different management are responsible for the project. Organizational financial problems force reduction in the project budget. So there are some problems, software problems. So there's also the financial problems will let you shrink your budget. You won't do all what you want because of the needs, the financial needs. Okay. If you want to hire 10 persons, no, you won't be able to hire 10 skillful people because of shortage in the resources. You will hire only 4 or 3. Okay. Tools. The code generated by case tools is insufficient. Okay. Requirements. Change to requirements that require major design network or propose customers fail to understand the impact of requirement changes. Estimations, mistake in the estimations. A time required to develop the software underestimated. You didn't estimate the time to update your software. You set a wrong time to do that, while it takes more. The rate of defect repair is underestimated. Also, you didn't have repairing any problem in the system. You estimated in a wrong way. You said it will take another one hour, and it might last for a few days. The size of the software is underestimated also. You don't know what you will do regarding this estimations, or as example, you didn't put a time estimation right for these problems. Okay. Shall stop here for the moment, and we will complete in the next video. Thank you so much.